Welcome back, everyone, to Ultimate Admiral's Dreadnoughts. We have an interesting situation going on with the boat behind us, but let's ignore that. It's the one that got away, the one I haven't beaten yet. The destroyers versus torpedo boats. We're going to try it today. I talked to some people who gave me some interesting information. They basically talked about going with full armor. A lot of people have mentioned different ways of solving it. I'm going to go with this maneuverability and survivability. Essentially, if you watch my stream attempt, or any of my stream attempts, well, I should say, if you watch my most recent stream attempt to get this done, what I think is going to work is going with high armor and lots of torpedoes. So we basically bounced all over the map on what we're trying here, and we're going to circle back to the design I haven't yet tried, which, as I said, is armor plus torpedoes. So the armor is the name of the game. I'm hoping that our Krupp... Now, I chose the survivability one specifically to get... Where is it? I'm blind. I already fixed it. I chose it specifically to get the Krupp 4. Now, this is a very expensive armor, but I think this is our ticket to success. I don't know if the turret really makes any difference. We'll just kick that up, and we'll kick up the conning tower as well. We'll just do everything maxed because our goal here is to survive some hits from the armored cruiser. Now, we could also increase... How can you increase deck? How do you put deck armor on a... I don't fully understand. There's no turret top on these. These are going to be gun mounts. So... I mean, we could just make... I don't know, it might even be reasonable just to make like a completely, as much as you can at least, armored destroyer. And then just let them tank blows until the enemy armored cruisers are sunk by your own battleship. So it's definitely a bizarre little thing, and I think that this mission over time will be tweaked. I foresee that at least. We'll see if it ends up happening, but... we can only get 3 destroyers as it is. I don't like that. We'll try to make... Well, I mean, there's no way we're going to make more than 3 destroyers because based on what I've done so far, I haven't even put guns or torpedoes on, so those are only going to make it more expensive. Alright, so let me not start with torpedo. Let's get the tower on there first. I think we'll stick with the normal tower being on below, funnel right behind it. It seemed to be like a nice configuration in my opinion. Do the torpedo launchers. How are we doing as far as engine efficiency is looking good? Somebody asked an interesting question. How much is the... Effectiveness affected. How much is the engine efficiency affected if you lose your funnel in battle? It's a good question. I don't know. So we're going to go with, like, seriously an aggressive configuration of torpedoes. 6. And those are looking like good firing arcs as well. Let's see if we can throw on some... I think I'm going to go with 5-inch guns. I mean, no, you know what? These are the Mark IIs, and the Mark IIIs... Oh no, they're all Mark IIs. You do have a pretty decent discussion about whether or not these 5-inch guns are worth it because of the extra damage. 121 versus 59. Conversely, the reload time is 13.6 seconds versus 7.4. DPS-wise, 5-inch guns are better. We already paid for the higher gun size, so... See if I can get 2 on the front. I don't know if I can. I can. We'll probably do that. We're down to 2 destroyers. I might still try it with even just 2 destroyers. Do you have a little bit of weight remaining? So we might try to get 2 here. Let's look at these. I mean, that's a lot of guns. Firing arc. Let's get this one as far back as we can. Okay. Firing arcs look good. Looks good. Looks good. Everything looks good. Don't particularly like that this one is so obstructed. I don't think we can get it any further forward, though. Squeaky. Yep. It's definitely the... Well, anyways, it's going to be nice to see if this philosophy works. So, what have we done so far? We haven't even done any of this, touched any of this other stuff. We're at 99% already. So unlikely that we're going to be able to get any of this to work. Does the focus decrease funnel weight? It does. I mean, we're in this really weird zone where we would like to get 3 destroyers. Okay, so if we make these extremely slow... Yeah, let's make it 24. Okay, we can get 3. I would really like to not have the situation we have right now. By the way, we are going to lose that because we want ballistite, which... Actually, we want gun cotton. That's only 6%. Extra shell damage. You know, I do think that's what we want. Okay, we're at 3 destroyers. We're going to go to 16 inches, which is still 3 destroyers. Gives us a little bit of weight savings. We can go to advanced hydraulic turrets. I don't think we have the money to go to heavy. We do. Okay, so I will do that. Gun cotton. Okay, so actually this is not bad. I don't think we're going to be able to get any of this other stuff. Okay, stand corrected. No, lost it. Okay, well that's fine. I would prefer to have all this other stuff, but that's fine. So we're going to go with an extremely heavily armored cruiser. This is an armored cruiser. No, it's an armored destroyer. We'll suffer the consequences in terms of lower speed and, you know, I don't know. This is a bizarre design. I'm not saying this is something I would want to design. We hope that the developers are going to tweak things to make such designs not as, I mean, interesting. But let's go ahead and launch this and see what our 3 destroyers do. They're essentially light cruisers. How will we fare? So another thing, now that I'm not streaming, I'm going to be able to pay a little bit closer attention to things. Not sure how much it's going to affect anything, but we'll see. So let's... I don't know what the best way of doing this is. Let's take a moment to think about things as we let time just run. Do I want to turn away and force these cruisers to really come at me? This will also make my... I think I am going to do that. It'll also make my destroyers more effective at... I mean, we'll be further away from the armored cruisers, so our destroyers should have a greater chance of surviving. And again, this is the only thing I want my destroyers to do is survive. Oh, thank goodness, we actually have a ship which is much faster than the other ones I've been getting. 10-inch guns, which I'm completely okay with that. I don't know what we're up against. These might even outgun us. They could have 11-inch guns for all we know. But what's our armor? Okay, plus 90%. I like that. 13.3. I kind of like what I see here. I mean, you're left at the mercy of the randomly generated design for your battleship. But as far as battleships go, I feel like this is a decent one. Okay, here comes the... Are these now targeting my... No, not yet. As soon as they start targeting my destroyers, that's when I'm going to have some interesting times with things. So they are shooting, thankfully, at my battleship, of all things. We'll get my destroyer group to start targeting. In fact, I want everyone to target this front gunboat. Pretty cool little designs. I have to say I do like this. It's got a lot of resistance, this hull form. It looks silly, I agree, but this rounded shape was supposed to increase the number of deflections from straight-on engagements. We're thinking Age of Sail. By the way, I've been contemplating making a video about crossing the T and my little perspective on it. Mostly about this, idea that the elliptical pattern of shells means that you have a better chance of hitting when someone's broadside on versus a beam. Wait, no, broadside on versus, a beam to you versus whatever the opposite of that is. Chase configuration? Chase? I forget what it's called. But anyway, I think that's the only time when that actually plays a role, if you were like dropping bombs, is when there is no ellipse. That's when you actually do need to know whether or not... Okay, this is not good. Okay, they're actually still targeting the battleship. So actually, this is good. I don't want to reduce smoke until it's very clear that we need to. We'll go ahead and run this one at a little bit slower speed. When those not battle cruisers, but heavy cruisers, armored cruisers, whatever they are, start targeting my destroyers, that's when... Sweet. We probably shouldn't have two ships just like this, because if they miss close... This is the perfect example of what I was going to talk about with the elliptical pattern. The fact that this shell can almost hit me. Like, if it misses this battleship by a ton... It really didn't miss by very much, but in the water, if you look at the top down, it's like, wow, that's way over here. Or, you know, even a shot that supposedly would have landed here, it actually hits my battleship because of the trajectory. So the more elliptical... Oh, destroyed main tower, fire. The more elliptical the shells are, that means the less of an angle you're firing at, which means you definitely do want the target. Oh, this one's going down. I mean, we do have all of our ships... I just realized we need to watch out for torpedoes. How true is that? By the way, our torpedoes are away. I do want my guys to be a little conservative. I don't want to run out of torpedoes. Great start to the fight so far, and we'll be looking for enemy torpedoes. But anyways, as I was saying, the elliptical pattern of... It's really a splashdown of the shells. The only thing it doesn't talk about is the fact that, yeah, but I have a vertical structure, so if I'm going like this, let's say I splash down here, that means the shell goes like that, versus if I splash down way the hell over to the left, the shell went like this. And it still hit me. So of course you know, the elliptical thing, I don't think it really means that crossing T or not crossing T makes a difference. By the way, I'm not trying to say that crossing T isn't a good thing. We'll get more into that. I'm going to have a second video. When I have some time, hopefully on this weekend, I'm going to start drawing up diagrams and stuff. And so if we zoom out enough here, we get less of a graphically interesting viewpoint, but nonetheless also probably a better perspective for commanding our troops. You can see the incoming shells. So I thought that this one was going to have some hard times. 400 tons. We are on a limited time budget, as in timer's ticking. So we can't just play too evasive, as I, in this exact video was kind of trying to do. One thing I forgot to do, would definitely go back and do this again if I could, is I didn't take the fast torpedoes, which I feel like they're going to be spotted anyway. You might as well just... This guy might not be able to avoid these, though. You might as well just have him hit them quickly, give them less time to react. And I don't see any incoming. Might not have gotten close enough. Another thing we could do... Are there armored cruisers still? Our accuracy does not look like it's doing very well. Oh yeah, we're going to get some hits here. Probably 2. And that's going to doom this guy. So on to the next. And we are exactly doing that. Perfect. We'll turn in a little bit. Assuming there's no more torpedoes in the water, we'll turn in. Yeah, because those armored cruisers are definitely... It seems like they're disengaging. I wouldn't say definitely disengaging, but apparently disengaging. Now, those tight turns are going to give our poor battleship some fits. But she should also have, own cruise speed, giving her a plus 20% bonus to accuracy, which we really need right now. These are tiny ships. Oh, got a hit. Very good. Started fire. I don't think I need to tell them to do this, but of course we should be using our high explosive. And so far, none of my destroyers have suffered any damage. Is that because just random chance? Is it because of our designs? Is it because of the way the battle has gone? And any would-be designs would be in the same situation? All good questions, all unknown. But looking good so far. I mean, we're definitely off to a probably the best start, which seems to be validating the idea that this is a good design decision. Which, I mean, again, I could be completely off, but yeah, wow, we're icing another one here. Not too many hits, but you wouldn't expect too many hits from this era. When I say this era, I'm assuming this is in between like 1900s and 1910. That's when I would guess that this would be more or less the era for these kind of fights. Because that battleship is a little bit... It's not... Obviously, it's a pre-Dreadnought. So, it's a little bit too old to be... I mean, those types of ships were still involved in World War I fighting. I mean, they were... Look at Austria-Hungary. I think they had true Dreadnoughts as well, but those kind of ships were sunk at some point. I think in Austria-Hungary, I think they lost some like... those pre-war battleships. I don't know what you want to call them. Pre-Dreadnought battleships. Houston, we have a problem here. So the formation AI is, I think it's a work in progress, at least. Let me just say, I hope it's a work in progress. Yeah, so doing that, we launched torpedoes. Let's just immediately go back to save because I don't know what the heck's going on with this guy. We're expecting, by the way, torpedoes to be counter-launched. That's a term you can use. Counter barrage. It's counter barrage, but no longer artillery. It's torpedoes. They're gonna have a tough time hitting the Kusunoki here. Our spread itself looks pretty darn good, and we will detach. Excuse me. We will detach. Oh, that was so close. In fact, that actually is a great example. The game is not correctly modeling. Those shells definitely would have been a below waterline hit. So it should have modeled that as a hit, is what I'm trying to say. Those are actually some really good shells hitting right below the water. I mean, right in the water, right in front of the ship. It's a very common penetration tactic. It's just to hit actually. Yeah, I mean, you can see this in some games it is modeled. I think a lot of games it's modeled. Hitting the water right below the belt actually can put you below their belt armor, so it's usually worse. Or even if it isn't, probably it isn't, but if you hit below the, literally hit below the belt, but if you hit below the water line, I should say, and it penetrates, well, guess what? You're below water line. A hole below water line is not a good thing for a ship. So there's a lot of reasons why it's pretty dangerous for a ship to have that situation. Looks like our destroyer, standing still here, decided to launch. I kind of do want... I think I'm going to have to move in my battleship. I was hoping that she would... Just making sure we're not... Yeah, I was hoping that she would just... Well, actually, we should probably just move at the... We've identified these, I assume, right? 8 inches and 8 inches. So we should stand up well. Let's see. 8.9 inches of armor, 8.9. So those are identical. I think what we'll do is just change our course this direction, and we'll go broadside to broadside against those. We'll also sneak over here, try to take out those torpedo boats. But boy, we're in much better shape right now. Go ahead, speed up to 2x. I feel like we're doing okay, though. We're going to get the Makaho here to start focusing on the Tigre. What are we against the French? Indeed. Yeah, so we'll see what these guys end up focusing on. We'll also have to be cautious. Pause. Of torpedoes. I think we're still in range to save him. Yeah. Well, maybe. Yes. Woo! Tortuga's on the case. I didn't do this in the streams, but maybe I should have. Got a couple barrages of torpedoes, which look like they're all going to miss this guy, unfortunately. Oh, please don't crash, game. Please don't crash. Okay, good. I don't know if you saw the Windows spinning wheel of death appear, but looking good so far. Yeah, and with that narrow miss, we're in an even better position to take this guy out. We're right on his doorstep. And yeah, now it's time for the Makaho to start lighting up this armored cruiser. Let's see if she does just that. Gonna get my destroyers to come back towards my battleship. Help screen, that's what they are supposed to be for. Although surely we have been doing a lot less of that. Okay, so now I have... What's my So plus 20%, minus 1% for our own maneuver, which is fine. Moderate sea waves. Good. So I think that everything is looking good. And they have minus 7% target maneuver. What? Huh. Anyways, the most important thing is keep an eye on the torpedoes. This guy just about to have new torpedoes. We're going to have a hard time avoiding whatever they do there, unfortunately. In fact, my only idea is actually to crank hard to... I would essentially like to ram this guy. Yeah, he landed the torpedo. We are ramming him, but it's not going to do anything. I wasn't paying attention over here, and I think Mr. Kusunoki here absorbed a torpedo. Yeah, torpedo hit. Belt extended, but I mean, it shouldn't matter. It should be a goner no matter what. Now, we could get lucky and actually end up eliminating some of these. That's a spread. So let's get you to detach. We'll probably have to detach all of them and start doing our own thing. Yeah, we need you to come hard. Actually, we need you at this point to crank hard right rudder. Actually, okay, straight for a smidge more. And now crank. Good. Oh, also, oh dear. Looks like we're going to actually avoid both of these by some stroke of good fortune. Well, actually, I guess it's a stroke of paying very close attention to everything. How's this thing going? Are you just... You should be just crushing this guy. I'm not even sure what's going on here. Now, the other thing we could do is try to get our destroyers and their really potent loads of torpedoes to engage the cruisers, which is, you know, what I was avoiding doing the whole time because that's been like the death of me to do that. But let's actually go ahead and just detach every destroyer, everyone for herself at this point. So F4 is going to go make my torpedo run. She just about has her torpedoes. Let's have her save for a moment. And she's going to start engaging the Tigre. Okay. Now we're probably about the same speed as these torpedoes, so we don't want to turn too early. We actually end up taking a torpedo. We'll run back into it, which we don't want, obviously. Trying to figure out what's going on here. I really don't know. I mean, honestly, our 5-inch guns should just be pummeling these enemy ships, but I don't know if that's actually what's happening. And you are not in any shape to launch torpedoes anytime soon. Okay, good. We are going to come behind those torpedoes, which is good. I wonder what happens. The game probably models only the tip of the torpedo. I wonder if it models the whole thing. I wonder what happens if you were to run over the midpoint of the torpedo, basically. Okay, this one's smart. She's disengaging. We're still going to pursue. I mean, these ships might be as fast as I am. 19 knots. 19 knots. So the answer is no, they are not. But, okay. I want to pause, just take stock of the situation here. I don't know what's going on with you, but why don't you just eliminate the ones that are nearly dead? Because we do have this problem of trying to actually finish off any of these ships. Get you to come around and come back. Yeah, I don't know why you're dead stopped in the water. Like, at least make an effort here. Because you're going to be a very easy target if you don't. Oh, we got some bug here. Let's just clear that. How we doing? A torpedo missed. Have this guy come in under cover of smoke. I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh boy. Can we save her? That's actually a pretty good angle. I think that even turning hard to starboard at this point is not going to save us. We probably have to just try to split the difference, which is obviously the worst situation, because these ships don't exactly listen to you. probably are going to be able to do it, though. Yeah, look at that. Talk about a close call. While I'm busy doing that, make sure my battleship isn't running into... So it's kind of funny. You can see the pattern, the grid-like structure of the waves when you go too vertical, but... Okay, you... Be aggressive. It's the perfect time, the exact perfect time to do this. You didn't need any further indication from me. You knew what to do. So let's get him back out of there. You guys actually should be moving at cruise-ish speeds because our accuracy is more important than theirs. I don't think that they can really do anything to us. Besides torpedoes, of course. But, yeah. Let's see if we can end up... Wow, that is a... Where did you... Oh, you were targeting the wrong ship. Do you have any torpedoes available? It claims no. It's a hell of a way to waste your spread. Oh well, just come back. Just come back. We'll worry about that later. Okay, you are engaging that one. That's the correct maneuver. You might as well come back this way. I know that's a lot of zigzagging for you. You are not in harm's way at the moment. So this is going to end up being quite a long episode, I can tell, because we're just playing it out slowly. We've only sank one of their torpedo boats. We need to sink 9 more. Boy, that's a number. Not sure that's going to be possible. Yeah, all those torpedoes just whiffed completely. Well, you know, we might as well turn away from the heavy cruisers, give them their own space for a little bit, and just focus on, if we can, these torpedo boats. So 3, 4. Let's bring 4 back. She's already in smoke, so that's good. Keeping her at top speed to try to avoid... Okay, we have incoming. And they did this intelligently. They did it in a way where we're going to be obstructed from our own person. But let's go hard to... Let's not do that hard, but let's do something like this. I'm not sure yet how exactly the best way for us to maneuver around this is. It's probably going to be doing the same thing, turning in hard. You know what? I think we're just going to avoid her. Oh my gosh. Quickly now. Quickly. Just missed it. Woo! We did it. Narrowly avoided. I don't know even how I have a sense to avoid those things. Like, it'd be hard to... Generally, what you want to do is move... Okay, common sense. You move away as much as possible. This torpedo's coming this way, you try to move away as much as possible or get yourself... If there's an easy path out. But if it's, like, going towards you like this one was, you want to kind of... you want to try to move away as much as possible, but right at the very end, if it's towards your tail, a hard turn to starboard, which in theory, like, moves you back towards the direction the torpedo's coming, can actually pivot the rear of your ship out of the way. And that may be just very common sense for most of you, but I just thought I'd take a moment to try to figure out how do you put in words what that maneuver was. Alright, good, and we're landing some hits, too. And this guy should pay. Just teach him a lesson. So we have one obvious target that we'd like to eliminate. Yeah, and these guys they're moving the wrong way. So this is like a perfect time for us to, it's like divide and conquer, you know. We have a few of them isolated. Let's see if we can try our best to pick these guys off. I think I'll move up to 2x now that we're not dodging torpedoes. Or are we? I don't know. I don't think so. Got one that missed away over here. Okay, let's just focus on this guy. Alright, there it is. That was the big hit. Okay, so come around and let's charge the next one in line. I think we just move towards this ship, towards the... Well, what do we want to do? It's a good question. First of all, I'm going to go through each of mine and exactly make sure they're all on save, because we don't want to launch torpedoes right now. I mean, this guy's dead. We want to go to the next. But where is the next one? I don't even know. Kuzunoki's not in a good way. She's actually the perfect candidate for launching torpedoes at the cruisers should they make their way back. You are going to form up. I probably should just attach you to the Urakazi. Let's do that. I've never done this before, but okay. Oh, wow. What's the other one? This one just sank, you know, from previous damage we had already done, which is perfect. So we're going to have these two form up, move together, because I think they're equivalent in speed. Did you take damage? Alright, what is your choice right now? Let's have you target this one. But we're doing really well. Oh my gosh, we're doing really well. Like for once. Okay, so we have F3, 2. Okay, so you're still quite possible for you to engage. Let's have the Mikaho come back a little bit this way, since we're a little bit worried about torpedoes. It's hard enough to avoid them with destroyers. Okay, good. Now, let's watch for these torpedoes. The sooner we spot them, the sooner we can react. I'm going to try not to use torpedoes against these torpedo boats. We've done so well so far, and I really want to save my destroyers for... Man, time is working against us. Oh boy. But I really would rather save my torpedoes for the cruisers. It's probably obvious, but... we did get a few hits here. Penetrating hits. Well, no surprise there. They have no armor. Yeah, you know what? The destroyer with armored design is... I think it's working. I mean, I dare say I think it's working. Watch for torpedoes. None visible yet. Let's bring you back, by the way. You're way the hell out there now. Still, I think faster, maybe not, than my battleship, but... Okay, bring you guys back over. Oh, those two big broadsides just barely missing. I mean, it's funny. I feel like we've done really well, and we've actually only taken out 3 torpedo boats out of 10. But this is still the best we've done, and that's why I'm excited. And no torpedoes in the water right now. Clear water so far. We'll have to watch out if we avoid a torpedo. I might neglect my poor rear damaged soul and forget to actually maneuver her. Still expecting torpedoes. Gotten lucky so far. Alright. Looks like they're finally forming up now, which is nice. The AI could be a little bit better, the division AI. There's no two ways about it. So they actually launched a full spread. That might actually be a good launch, too. I think that they're on save, right? I might even turn it off because we're getting low on torpedoes. Like, you can stay on save, but... And now we're taking fire, so let's just deploy smoke. We've done our job here. That guy's a goner for sure. Oh my gosh, please tell me. Thank goodness. And is that torpedoes? Yeah. How we doing? I think we're okay. Cut speed. Should be good here. Should be good. Yeah, you know, if I want to take the time and do this recording properly, definitely the best way of doing that is doing it nice and slow. Doing it in a way where we actually take the time to avoid torpedoes. And see if I can see any torpedoes here. No good angles. There's... Okay. This looks good. So we know that we did a lot of damage to these guys. Just going to get you to deploy smoke. Alright, so bring you back this way. Kick you back up to, well, ideally 16, but I think whatever you can manage. And already 35 minutes. So I might put a cut in the video here. I'm surprised I needed to do this. I was expecting to finish this pretty quickly. But we're not even halfway through the torpedo boats, although I think we're more or less 50% through this mission. So, I was really hoping to put this one under first so I can say we're 40% of the way done at least. Come on, just land one more hit. Start aiming for those other ones as well. Somebody, one more 5-inch gun. And by the way, the 5-inch guns have done well. I think. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe somebody was suggesting just use a whole bunch of 2-inch guns. I doubt that this would be very effective. By the way, it's amazing that this thing is not sinking. A torpedo boat taking a torpedo. I honestly, I think I've... Okay, there. That wasn't the one. We're going to be at 50%. Oh my gosh. Yeah, things are looking really good. Really good. Amazing. Just need to land one hit on this guy. Okay, well, we need to switch fire at this point because things are going to be... Yeah, a new challenger has arrived. So, I'll put a cut in here. So we'll see you back for part 2 of this. But I'm feeling confident. We may finally have figured it out. Until the next one, thanks for watching and take care.